Sergeant Bowe Bergdahl is back on U.S. soil, arriving at Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio, Texas, early this morning, where he will continue his reintegration process. The transfer came as a surprise to some, only 2 weeks after his release from captivity, and just 2 days after Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel claimed doctors thought Bergdahl was unfit to return to the United States. So it's fair to say there are still more questions than answers. So here to help us with some of those questions is Brian Bouffard, a former Navy lieutenant commander and JAG officer who represents service members court-martialed for criminal offenses. Perfect guy. He joins me now for Q&A. Brian, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Talk to me about what this next phase of Bowe Bergdahl's integration will likely encompass.
Well, I think you said it well. I mean, we have far more questions than we do answers at this point. He has been in Germany, he's now in San Antonio, and he's continuing his reintegration process. That's going to involve a lot of medical, perhaps psychological, mental health folks looking at him and just kind of getting him through that entire process.
Well, lawmakers and military personnel, I know, have a lot of questions for him, and so do the American people. When do you anticipate that process beginning?
That is something that's it's an unsatisfying answer, but it's going to just kind of happen in its own time. A lot like the reintegration process itself, that's going to be primarily driven by Sergeant Bergdahl himself and how his physicians and his treatment providers and everybody else thinks that he's doing. I'm sure that they've already tried to debrief him at least on some level, gotten some intelligence from him about some of the broad strokes of what he's been able to witness there for 5 years. But the interesting part of this, at least to me, is whether they've begun a criminal investigation yet, and I doubt that has taken place.
Do you think he's aware? I know you have no way of knowing this, but do you think he's aware of the controversy here at home around his coming home?
That's a great question. You have to assume he does. I don't know how much access they're giving him to general media.
Yeah.
They may actually be trying to keep that from him. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all.
No, there are some reports from his fellow soldiers coming out that Bowe Bergdahl wasn't maybe mentally fit to be deployed in the first place. Do you think that will be examined?
I think it's going to have to be, particularly if they start really doing the work necessary to determine if a crime has been committed. And, you know, we're all kind of focused on the last 5 years, but this inquiry is going to have to focus on what was going on at the end of June in 2009 when he left. And they're going to be probably re-interviewing a lot of the people who were there with him on the ground and who saw his behavior and saw you know, the circumstances of him laying down his arms and laying down his body armor and leaving that base.
Well, yeah, and let's go back to that around that same time. Bowe Bergdahl and Bradley Manning were deployed in the same window when military recruitment standards have been criticized for perhaps being too weak. Do you agree with that analysis?
Well, we were undergoing a period there where we were trying to plus up the manpower in the Army. And you're right, they did relax standards, particularly in the Army. They took people with some criminal records that they otherwise wouldn't have taken, and maybe some people who mentally might not have been exactly what we would want to see over there wearing our uniform and carrying a weapon.
Yeah, and so you think that'll get a careful look as well?
I do.
Okay. Well, Brian, thanks again for your insight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Senator Rand Paul took a big, bold step for a potential GOP presidential campaign this week and then quickly took a few smaller steps back. Will Kane has the details after the break.